Ooh. Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Inspire by Kara. I am Sue A. Webley. I am your host. If you don't know about me, let me tell you all about myself. I am the founder of Kara Solutions LLC, and Kara Solutions provides administrative business and consulting services to small business owners, social entrepreneurs, faith based and community based organizations. And so, Inspire is a weekly broadcast that was created to spotlight BIPOC entrepreneurs, influencers, and creatives who are on a mission to change their communities and the world. And so each week you get to hang out with us, you get to take an intimate look into the lives of our guests. And so right now we are live on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube. And so I want to welcome all of you who are watching from any of those platforms. While you're watching, I'm going to ask that you please share, that you please share, that you please share. I'm going to tell you where we are all over social media because I want you to connect, follow, like, and subscribe. Connect, follow, like, and subscribe. So right now we are on Kara Solutions LLC on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and on YouTube. We're at Kara Solutions on Twitter. And as always, you can head over to our website at www.kara-solutions.com. You can find out all about Kara Solutions, all about Inspire, and all about me if you are so inclined to find out about more about me. If you're not catching it now, you can catch it in the replay. If you want to take it with you, you can listen later on Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, and on Spotify. We are on Inspired by Kara on all of those platforms. More platforms are going to be added soon. We're getting ready to be a part of the Bullet in Flight family, and I'm so excited about that. So I will have more information about that next week. And of course, we got Kara swag. Listen, Kara Inspire Swag. I need you to go over to the website. Again, that's www.kara-solutions.com. Don't forget that hyphen in the middle. Go ahead, get your Inspire swag, get your Kara swag, and wear it and hashtag inspire. If you're wearing it, I want you to take a picture. Let me know that you're wearing it. But while we are here, I need to thank Sky Michelle Tees and Things because she has been hosting Kara Swag since its inception. And right now she is a kid boss. She's 9 years old. Come on, give it up for young entrepreneurs. Right now, she has a childhood cancer awareness collection on her website, and so I want you to go over there and support. $5 for each of those awareness T-shirts sold will be donated to the Children's Cancer Research Fund. So one of the things, the awareness, when we get to the fall, the whole bunch of stuff is happening every month. And so September is childhood cancer, amongst other things, it is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. And so I ask that you please go ahead and support Sky Michelle, the kid boss. You can head over to her website at www.skymichelle.com, or you can follow her on Facebook and on Instagram at I am Sky Michelle. I am Sky Michelle. Please support our young Black entrepreneurs. So let me see who is watching with us. I am joining you this morning from California. So y'all know it's early. I know it's early and I'm tired, but I'm here. So let's use here. Hey, Ken. Hey, Ken. Oh, thank you so much. Ken Branson is here hanging out with us. Hi, Anthony Evans. Hey, sis. Allie is here. So while I'm greeting you guys, what are you drinking? Now, I know that Allison's going to be shocked, and some of you going to be shocked too, that I do not have coffee in my cup. I have orange juice. So let's go ahead and take a sip. Tell me what you're sipping on. Do you have orange juice? Do you have coffee? Do you have tea? Do you have apple juice? Do you have water? Do you have like a fabulous smoothie? Do you have a little something stronger in your cup? I'm not judging that. Go ahead and shout out what you're sipping on this morning as you are joining us on Inspire. I'm so happy that you're here. While you're watching, listen, I need you to share. Go ahead and share. Give us a push. Share with your friends. Share with your family. Tell them to come on over and hang out with us as Odu and I have a conversation. Dr. Perry, good morning, Dr. Perry. You're drinking coffee. Thank you so much for joining. I love Dr. Perry. If she'll have me, I'm gonna have on the show if she'll allow it because she is just such. I consider her one of my great mentors in the community, and she is just such chock full of wisdom that I need the whole world to hear her. And I'm so appreciative of your support, Dr. Wilhelmina Perry. So let's get into some news. This week's news. Da, 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 da. Oh, all right. So, I always have to start off with a little bit of news. I missed you guys last week, but we're going to get into it. Listen, it was Black Queen Magic at the Emmy Awards. Black Queen Magic at the Emmy Awards. Usually we say Black Girl Magic, but it's Black Queen Magic. So Cheryl Lee Ralph, Quinta Brunson, Lizzo, and Zendaya dominated the 2022 Emmys, making the biggest night in television an historic moment for Black women in TV. So Black Twitter was all a buzz, Black Facebook was all a buzz, especially because of the acceptance speech that Cheryl Lee Ralph gave. So she is a Hollywood legend. If you don't know who any of these individuals are, I want to tell you a little bit about them right now. So Cheryl Lee Ralph is a Hollywood legend, and she has a career that spans more than 40 years. My goodness. And after that career spanning 40 years, she took home her first Emmy. Within that career spanning more than 40 years, Cheryl Lee Ralph took home her first Emmy this past Monday. And, at 32, Quinta Brunson, she made history by being the youngest Black woman nominated for an award in the comedy acting category. And I don't know if you guys remember, was it how many years ago that she kind of came out? She was doing like things on social media, little skits, and to see her glow up, right? To see but that's because she put in the work. She put in that work, and now look at her now. So we congratulate you, Quinta Brunson. Um, Quinta is also the second Black woman in the Emmy's 74-year history to win the award for outstanding writing for a comedy series. It's about time, Emmys. It's about time, right? Lizzo took home the award for Outstanding Competition Program, and Zendaya snagged her second Emmy for Best Actress in a Drama Series. And so let's see, with Adrian Sebro is assistant professor of media studies at the University of Texas in Austin, says the wins aren't just noteworthy for Black people in entertainment, they're pivotal for progress in the field. And so Serbo says with the success of these shows, it opens the reality to networks that Black women and Blackness is marketable. This will lead the way to more Black writers, more Black actresses on writers, sitcoms, reality series, and competition series as well. This leads to more spaces of Black creative possibility. And it's no surprise that we have Odu Adamu with us because we're going to talk about Black Black creativity today. So going forward to the next news, the Great Mermaid debate. Oh my goodness. I'm so tired of Dwight's. I'm so tired of the people. All right. So if you've been on social media, listen, you know that the video with Halle Bailey as Ariel has been kind of going around. Now the trailer has been out for a little while, but it's kind of resurfaced, right? And parents of young Black girls are posting their videos of their children's reacting to this trailer for the live action Little Mermaid, which stars Halle Bailey as the first Black Ariel, right? Um, and so let me show you. I wanted to talk about it, but I think I'm just going to show you this clip of it real quick. If you haven't seen it on social media, I want to tell you a little bit what I'm talking about.
I think she's round. Out of the sea. That is Ariel. Wish I could.
She's a Black girl.
Yeah, I can see. She's Black. She's Black. Yes. She's Black. Mama, she's Black. What? She's like me.
Right. So every time I watch one of these videos, I'm teary-eyed right now. Okay, just representation matters, right? It matters. It matters to our youth who are always looking, always searching for someone that looks just like them, whether it's with in film, in music. It Listen, this was the racist Dwights are on an uproar. They are talking about how Ariel is supposed to a fictional character, fictional character. Is supposed to be white with red hair. Somebody said on in Black Twitter, was going strong. Black Twitter said, the amount of black bodies that are have been cast to the bottom of the sea. And why are you surprised that there's a black mermaid, right? And there's and I think Odu can help me when he comes. Is it one of our I think one of the Orishas is represented as a black mermaid. Correct me. Somebody correct me. I don't have the information in front of me. I did see it. So somebody correct me. Listen, it's not a far-fetched idea to have a black mermaid. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. I need y'all to stop it. Dwight, I need y'all to stop. Stop, Dwight. Just let us have let the kids have someone that looks like them, right? You do not own, right? You don't own, you don't have a monopoly on what fictional characters are supposed to look like. The whole purpose of being a fictional character is that you can be any skin tone, any skin color, any race, any whatever. Leave it alone. Let us have a black Ariel. So let me look. Hey, Daniel. Hey, hey, Rainier. Rainier is on. Yes, yes, yes. All right, I see. Yes, go ahead and continue commenting on our news for today. And the last slide, of course, the passing of Queen Elizabeth. I know it was last week, but I wasn't here last week, so didn't get a chance to talk about it. So I'm gonna talk about it today. I'm not gonna dwell on it too much because of course, there are mixed. There are of course mixed feelings. So hey Tanya, good morning, Sissy. So, many of you know that my family, we're from Yad, right? My family's from Jamaica. Jamaica was one of the countries under British rule, and they achieved independence in 1962. But there have been so many country still just like, okay, yeah, she dead, she gone, her um despite her longevity, despite her 70 years that she represents. She represents a really dark time, right? So of course Black Twitter again has something to say, right? um and it shows her victorious, but yeah, she ascended to the throne during a time of change for the British Empire. So a little bit of history, and the subsequent forming of the Commonwealth of Nations, and many people from former colonies under her figurehead consider her, sorry, a figurehead for the brutality of their people, which suffered under British imperialism, right? And so Maya Jasanoff, she's a professor of history at Harvard, said in an essay recently that we should not romanticize uh, Queen Elizabeth's era, that she helped obscure a bloody history of decolonization whose proportions and legacies have yet to be adequately acknowledged. So there has been, and this is like on both sides of the coin, right? People of color, just uh, talking about Queen Elizabeth and mourning her death, and then there are also people of color saying, "Yeah, um, we we said that she's gone, but let's not forget." Her this legacy of brutality that existed. So I want to hear your thoughts on all of our news. If I have missed anything, I want you to tell me. Let me know if I missed anything. If Hi mom. Yes, thank you, we're there. You're Maya. Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. All right. See, that's why I love y'all, because I knew you guys would tell me. Yes, Daniel, Black fantasy is rising. Critical race, critical race and Ariel in danger. Anthony Evans. Thank you. Yes. Listen, keep sounding off about our news items. We're gonna get into our the introduction of our guest, who I'm so excited is here. Okay, I'm so excited that my brother is here. Odu Adamu, a filmmaker, and amongst other things. So, Adu is a Brooklyn based creator who uses filmmaking to express his vision. After 20 years in the community building and nonprofit organization development, while NYC was on pause in 2020, he formed Rock My Soul Media LLC and began his journey on his creative path. Rock My Soul focuses on all things Black music as it is experienced through the hearts and lives of Black and Brown LGBTQIA, same gender loving people. Rock My Soul's projects explore how music inspires and influences our personal journeys and showcases Black queer communities, history, and cultural impact. In fall of 2021, Adu was one of 12 Brooklyn based filmmakers invited to be a part of the BRIC 2021 documentary intensive cohort. This experience supported him in the development of Our World, the arm of Rock My Soul Media dedicated to sharing authentic stories of Black and Brown LGBTQIAs. SGL for same gender loving people, and exploring the issues that impact our communities. Body Language is Our World's premiere release. He is the awardee of Inside Out's 2022. Congratulations, brother. Inside Out's 2022 Pitch Please Grant, co sponsored by Netflix, and a IGLIF, GLIFF 2022 Queer Black Voices Fund grantee. Odu is also the founder and curator of Got to Be Real. I love that play in words. A project that brings Black queer film into our communities. And so, whether it's community, music, culture, or style, Odu only dedicates his head and his heart to projects that reflect his passion and can be produced from a place of power. So, y'all know I always go searching for stuff on social media about our guests. And so this particular video, while we're not going to get into it fully, this, I believe, in terms of Odu's intro, kind of shows the breadth and depth of who my brother is as a creative mind. So let's get ready to be introduced to Odu Adamu.
Now I have this picture of me, and in this picture, I am about 4 years old. And then you have this picture of me, and this is that's me with my dad from my 30th birthday party. And I have no other pictures of me from 3 to 30. Growing up dark-skinned had a huge impact on how I viewed myself. I remember hearing black as night, black as tar, black as the ace of spades. And I really just didn't like my complexion. In fact, if I would see some of the images like the coon stuff and all of that kind of art, it made me think of myself. I just didn't want to see myself. I mean, I even remember vividly like taking pictures of myself and hiding them, or cutting myself out of pictures, or scratching or darkening my face, just because I didn't feel attractive, and I didn't feel like I'd ever be attractive. I did not feel worthy in that way.
Good morning.
Hey,
How
how
are
are
you?
you? I'm well. I'm well. I can tell you are. It's real early for you because you've been pronouncing stuff all kinds of ways
I
and saying all kinds
know.
of things. Trying to pull up stuff. I'd have gave you the more recent iteration of that, but just trying to be cute at all early in the morning. And before we get started, yes, yeme ya. Let's get
Thank
that right.
you. Listen,
And
listen. I asked for correction,
I
so
don't know
I'm
you.
not
I
mad
know.
about
I
it.
know. That's why I'm doing it. Yeme Yad is also Chun and
Okay.
Olokun.
See,
Um,
thank you.
and then who are all Yoruba deities, and Mama Wadi,
Hmm.
who also Mama Wadi is actually the one most visualized like a mermaid
Yes.
kind of all sometimes a mermaid and a mix of what people consider to be Medusa.
Right.
Um, and I'm just doing this real quick so we can then get into me. Because I wrote a thing about it. I decided not to post it because I
Okay.
really did not want to go there because I didn't want my energy to be there. But
Right.
yes, the reality while we can, we'll get it, it'll actually lead us into Black storytelling.
Right. Right. Right.
We're excited. Yes, it's Ariel, but it's a Black person put in the context of white storytelling. When
Mm-hmm.
these are Black stories, no one's making anyone Black. What we need to be saying is we're setting things straight. We
That's
need to be
good.
very
Yeah.
clear that
Mm-hmm.
all Greek and Roman mythology is based on African deities.
Listen. Come
So
on.
that's nice. But what Disney need to do is have a story about a Black village with Black folk doing Black things. Just leave
Yes.
Uncle Remus out. Just leave that Song of the South stuff out. That's why they still owe us now. But
Mm-hmm.
we need to be clear, and that's what, as we talk about, because I see so many people, we need to stand for this or whatever the young people say,
Mm-hmm.
like we did for Black Panther. Let's be clear, Black Panther was a Black experience.
Right. Right. Right.
Black director, had a Black producer on the team, 2 Black writers, Black department heads, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm not saying don't support it, and I
Mm-hmm.
understand it. It is important to have representation, but also
Right.
let's be very clear that as we talk about that movie will make money regardless. How
Yeah.
do we talk about the folks who are telling our stories from the ground up and
Mm-hmm.
support them as well?
Yes. Ugh, that's why I love you. Don't y'all love him? I know you. So thank you, because I knew somebody would just come in and set me straight. It's fine. Listen, I don't mind it at
Mhm.
all. So I welcome it. So I'll get it right next time. And yes, it is early out here in California, and I'm not all the way together. And maybe I should have
Yeah.
had coffee in my cup instead of this juice. Let me take a sip, child. What are you sipping on this morning, Odu?
This is mango tea.
Mango tea. Yum.
Yes.
Is it iced
Yes.
or hot?
Oh, no, no, no. I'm sorry. This is green tea. It's an
It's
iced
green
green
tea.
tea. Yeah,
Ice green
this is green.
tea.
Mhm.
Okay. Is it did you brew it yourself?
Oh, look, honey. Now, I am one of them, yeah, and all that, but no, this is right out of somebody's something.
Okay.
But I drink it myself.
Okay. That's
So I
half the battle.
contribute to the process.
Well, I'm glad that you are contributing to the process. Here, let me see if the folks are talking about. Yeah, they shouting you out. They shouting you out. Oh, dude. So, oh my God. Hi.
Hey, baby.
It's so. Oh gosh.
Congratulations on
Oh, thank you.
everything, but
Thank you.
especially Inspire. Let me just say that to you right now. You're doing incredible things. And as we talk again about representation and seeing ourselves, uh, and this is not just for young folk, when
Hmm.
all of us, when we see someone step into their desire, their passion, and follow it, we all become encouraged. So thank you for doing what you do, Sue.
Oh, thank you. You are you are one of just one of the greats in my eyes, right? And I'm so grateful for individuals like you and Rainier who's watching, just for inspiring me in ways that you don't know that you inspire me. And so as I was kind of thinking about what I wanted us to talk about today, I realized that the first announcement for In the Groove, when we first started, was came out yesterday, 2020.
Mhm.
The
I
very
saw it
first
pop up on my
announcement.
feed. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was just like, how appropriate that, we're getting ready to have this conversation. And those of you that don't know, when did we meet? 2020? And I can't even remember what were we on Renee's show? What
Yeah,
happened?
well, you two show. Yeah. Yeah. We
Yes,
met.
Walk Child.
Yeah. I did a you and Rainier show.
Yes.
And and then I was like, that, and again, I was inspired to say, wow, I'm sitting here. I had gotten a green light for a project right before COVID. That shut
Mhm.
down. I got in another conversation, and Black Lives Matter kicked off. That
Yeah.
project shut down. And I
Hmm.
was like, well, whatever. And so watching the two of you and then coming on the show, I said, well, you know what? I can do my thing as well. So I got my LLC. And Renier, I tell you, I called. I said, "Look, I'm doing this show. I want you to be part of it." I asked
Mhm.
about you, Keonde, Trevor, Donnell, Renier, and it was on. It was
Yeah.
absolutely on, and that has been a journey for the
Mhm.
past 2 years now.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
this is in the grooves. It would be the 2 year anniversary of
Yeah,
us
the
working
2 year
at the show.
anniversary.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Oh my gosh. And In the Groove was kind of threw me into a space where not in a bad way, but it threw me in the space of music and the celebration of black culture and the celebration of black music. And it in I don't know, it kind of in I can't think of the word because I'm tired, but but it just it opened me up. That's not what I want to say, but it kind of opened up something in me, in terms of like a new appreciation. Because I grew up in a listening to kind of a little bit everything: Kenny Rogers, Anne
mhm.
Murray, you know, Paul Robeson. I'm telling on myself. So even though that there was some cool in the gang, I'm aging myself, but I don't care. Some cool in the gang, some sukiyaki, whatever. I didn't get a chance to kind of really appreciate black music in all of its fullness, except when it came to like house music and stuff like that. I
Mhm,
always tell people I grew up in the bosom of house music.
mhm,
I credit just house music and house culture as saving my life. And but you opened my eyes to the beauty and the wonder of black music, and so I thank you for that. I thank you so much for that. And it was also one of my first major productions that I did. It started it started my business, and so I thank you for helping me grow in that way. So yeah, I attribute a whole lot to you, brother. I attribute it. Yes.
thank you.
Renee said I learned so much from In the Groove.
Yes, yes.
Um, yeah, yeah. And so we need an In the Groove documentary, but we can talk
Okay, all right.
about
Well,
it.
and it's fun because we're talking about it just so people don't just say, "Well, where is it now?"
Right.
As the world opened back up, because we did it Friday nights. It was supposed to be
Hmm.
an hour. Sometimes it would go how it would go. We realized that the world was different.
Right, right,
People
right,
weren't
right.
contained in that same way. And so we have been, and then our lives became different. People already went back to work, other things
Right.
happened. So, but we are still in dialogue about what a new iteration of In the Groove or something can be. And then I also write for soulmusic.com. So been some conversations around what video experiences can look like that make sense now.
Hmm.
So
Hmm. Hmm.
something will be coming.
Okay.
Something will be coming.
Good, 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 good. So we touched briefly on we're talking about Rock My Soul Media and talking about In the Groove, just kind of briefly on a parts of your creative journey. And why am I hearing the echo? Are you in there hearing the echo?
No, I don't. No.
That's weird. Okay. It's all right. Listen, this is things that happen. So as I read your bio talked about a large part of your life being centered on community building and
Rainier said she's
nonprofit.
hearing it in
Okay.
echo. Let
Okay.
me. That's why I keep these near me just in
All
case.
right.
This
Listen.
this may resolve it.
And that's okay. That's okay. Listen, we
Okay.
become accustomed to this. Throughout.
This may, yeah, it's gone now. So okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry about that.
it's either you're muted, we can't hear you, or you're echoing. It's either
Mm-hmm.
it's one of the
We
two.
got that's why we all equipment right here,
Right,
so we
right,
ready.
right. So again, so a large part of your life, we touched briefly on the creative just in our conversation, and in that first video, your intro video that I showed, touch a little bit on who you are as a creative, and we're going to get more into that, but a large part of your life centered on community building and nonprofit organization development. Um, and so, can you tell us a little bit about some of the work that you did, and what did the work that you do in community, what influence did it have on your creative shift to focusing on music, film, and Black storytelling?
Okay, well, it's growing up, I was always, I guess, what we consider to be a creative child. And,
Mhm.
we come from a space of believing that we're all creatives. It's just how it is expressed in the world. But I like to draw, I like to design, I like to do all that. I love to dance, so all that has been, and acting has been a part of my world. But I was in one of those spaces where when my mother would pop in, she was like, "You need to get a real job." So I also had a family who was very into advocacy and activism. So it was really a natural progression to think about community work. Ironically, though, for the work that I did, it was inspired by a creative project. In 1989, rather, Marlon Riggs released Tongues Untied. And it was
Mhm.
the first really intimate look at Black gay life from the perspective of Black gay men.
Mhm.
And at that time, there was then this kind of expansive experience for our community. So we started to have literature. You start to see kind of out of that James Earl Hardy, B-Boy Blues, Elin Harris, the anthology Shade, et cetera, et cetera. You started to see like Black prides pop up in a lot of cities, and you
Mhm.
started to see this development of Black gay organizations. Now, of course, this is partnered with the rise of the HIV epidemic, and especially as it's acknowledged that it's happening with Black gay men. So our
Yes.
organizations are really centered or anchored in that space. And so that's when I got into community work because I was working for the government actually and
Mhm.
got this opportunity to do the work. And it just really made sense. Yeah, it really made sense.
Right. So thank you for sharing. So back to Rock My Soul, that you talked about a little bit at the top. All of Rock My Soul's projects explore how music inspires and influences our personal journeys. Right. This is part of his description and showcases Black queer communities' history and cultural impact. Can you talk about the importance of Black music as a genre and the continued evolution of Black queer music in general?
Mm. Sure. Let's be clear, as Black folk, music is why we still exist.
Mhm.
If you look at how music has been a part of our experience, whether it's we think about it as kind of this way to release and tell stories. We also have to understand it was a way to message. It was a way to direct us to safety. It was a way like it's all these things. So
Mhm.
it's not just a celebration, it was an absolute necessity and it was coding. It was a way that we could deliver messages without other folks understanding what's going on. It's a way we speak to each other. We're rhythmic as
Yes.
people.
Yes.
That even when we talk, it's music.
Yeah.
Like if you think about the Black folks you love to hear talk, they talk
Yeah.
musically. Like
Mhm.
they do
Mhm.
all that, and we get excited. So
Yes.
that is who we are. So
Yeah.
of course, the music is always a part of the experience, and every form of American music is rooted in Black culture.
Mhm. Mhm.
Period. So how are we not going to embrace, acknowledge, and celebrate? Now, this is what for me was important with In the Groove was to understand those things. And also because I talk about it LGBTQ, SGL, etc. But
Mhm.
then the impact was we were just talking about any kind of music. It
Right.
wasn't like we were only talking about Michelle Ndegeocello
Right.
or Rashawn Patterson or Little Richard or Sylvester. We're talking about, the sound of Philadelphia.
Mhm.
We're
Mhm.
talking about Ashford and Simpson. We're talking about, whatever, because and I even talk about this in my other projects, coming up, that's what we have. Like we didn't have Lil Nas X,
Right.
and even if we did, that's one. So our world, we still had, Tina Marie.
Mhm.
We
Mhm.
we we had Marvin Gaye, we had all those things,
Yeah.
and they
Yeah.
still became they're part of our story.
Yeah. 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 Um, so you mentioned some names already, but I'm still going to ask this question.
Mhm.
That all of what you do, the same way Rock My Soul's projects explore how music inspires and influences, but all of what you do centers on telling and celebrating Black and Brown LGBTQIA
Mhm.
same gender loving stories. So, who are some? I know you named a few, but who are some of the individuals, past and present, who you credit with bringing these stories to the forefront?
See, I should embarrass this man. Say, I'm on this show. Why are you calling me? You need to be watching.
Do it, do
Uh,
it. No.
right. No, no, Well, Ellis Hazlip is really important in my life. I talk
Mhm,
about Ellis Hazlip all the time. From 1969 to 73, he produced a show on PBS Soul. Actually, documentary Mr. Soul came out a few years ago, and it's been awarded and acknowledged.
mhm.
Incredible film. And why I talk about him first and foremost is because he was a black gay man who understood we live in a black world.
Yes.
So when you watch the show, everybody was on there. I mean,
Mhm,
from Sidney Poitier to Muhammad Ali, the first appearance on television of Ashford and Simpson, Earth, Wind and Fire. Stevie Wonder was on there, like Billy Preston, like the list
mhm.
goes on and on and on. Miriam Makeba. So he knew that blackness was a total experience, regardless of anything else. Yeah,
Yes.
Christian folk, Muslim folk. He did an incredible interview with Louis Farrakhan and asked
Mm,
him about, homosexuality
mhm.
and like who was doing that like at that time and
Right.
doing it conversationally with a person who didn't identify as part of that community. So he's really the driving force in a lot of what I do because, you know, I'm all for obviously I'm out and I produce my stuff for my community and we understand it. I'm
Mhm.
also all for, again, we don't just exist amongst ourselves. We don't have
Right.
that luxury. And I also know that there are mothers and fathers who one day may find out they're raising a queer, lesbian, bisexual, trans
Mhm,
child like this.
mhm.
So we need to have information available to them, aunts and uncles,
Yes.
teachers, doctors, professionals, anyone, everyone. You may have a friend. So the more that we can be clear about and I'm sorry, and also define it from a black lens
Mhm, mhm.
because that's the other thing I know I grew up with and a lot of
Yes.
folks my age, it was always from a white perspective. So if you
Mm.
saw a black character, gay character, it was with a bunch of white folk, or they had a
Yes.
white lover, or they were living
Yes.
in the and I was like, no, we didn't see that growing. Like
Yes.
it was children in the hood, honey. Like that. So we need to be clear that, and so a lot of which has carried on. And
Mhm.
it's been supported by black academia in the 70s and other and black media that it is a European thing.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that once you own that, you have disrobed your blackness. And I'm
Mm.
one of the blackest motherfuckers I know.
Mm, mm,
So
mhm.
I already know that that's not true.
Right.
But who is telling those stories, or who is
Yes.
even like up to saying that? Even now, we don't want to get into it. I know you asked me to name. So other folks I would name though. I talked
Mhm,
about Marlon Riggs, and see, for me, that's also not quite like Gordon Parks Sr. is
mhm.
really important to why I do the work that I do and how I do it, how I do it. Melvin Van Peebles is really
Mm.
important to Oscar Michaud is important to all us black folk who are
Yes.
filmmakers. We hold them up, or I hold them up as well. And I talk mainly black men because I don't know people, but I talk black men because nobody else does.
Right. Right.
There are a lot of women that I can talk about that are a huge influence in what I do. But like when we talk about the Emmys, four black women won. So that's who we're talking about. We're not necessarily talking about Jared Carmichael and Coleman Domingo, who are two
Mhm.
black queer men, who are the
Mm.
other two people who won that night. So that I
Yeah.
got to talk about them.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I ain't ignoring the women, but that's just what I'm doing right now.
Yes.
So
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. Thank you. Thank
Mhm.
you. It's taken some time for mainstream television and film to not only embrace our stories, but also tell them in a way that honors fully our humanity, right? And so, what are your predictions for the future of music, television, and film as it continues to become more diverse?
Well, let me step out of the question and not reframe it, but let me say this.
Hmm.
Andre DeShields had a conversation at Tribeca Film Festival, and he said something because for folks who don't know, this past Broadway season was historic in the sense that more black shows opened and played on Broadway than ever before in one season. It was like 12. And people were like, "Oh my God, this great!" Da, 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 da. He was like, "Well, they always come to us to rescue them. And I always say that when you see a lot of blackness in a field or an industry, it's in trouble
Mhm.
because they know we come out for us.
Right.
Period.
Mhm.
So, like, you know, let's take little I'm about to say Little Princess, Little Mermaid. So yeah, you put a black Little Mermaid. We always we all gotta go. See
Mhm.
a white Little Mermaid. Some white folks talking about Little Mermaid wasn't even planning to go see Little Mermaid. They,
Mm.
50-year-old folk, they didn't know nothing about a Little Mermaid.
Yeah.
And interestingly enough, it's not that that is new news, but when you then layer that with now these four black women won Emmys, and really, let's be honest, it's 100 and gazillion Emmys given out.
Right.
Four, and they don't know what to do. They
Mm.
do not understand that. So then you have these layers of things. So now that, like, what can we reach for? What can we go after? But
Yes.
back to the point, what they do understand is that we rescue because we come out for us, and that they, at the end of the day, they don't always want to say it out loud, but they need us. They live for us because
Yes.
without us, there's no, they don't have something to aspire towards that's interesting. Like they're not even interesting to them.
Mm.
Let's just face facts. They're not interesting to them, or else they wouldn't even know what we were doing.
Right.
So what I will say in response is, if we're depending upon them to make this bigger than what it is now, it won't happen because we've
Okay.
had these moments before. I go back to, I'll
Yes.
say, when you look at the richness of black culture in the 70s and the influence on white culture, when you look at black acts dominating the charts going through, then that was the whole thing with disco. It's
Mhm.
just too
Mhm.
many black folk. Like, what's going on?
Right.
Until we get to a point, and then it's like, oh no, it's too much. And then the backlash becomes, oh my God. So what I hope happens in this moment, like I was saying, when we see black representation, that we take it and run with it. That
Mhm.
we then say, I appreciate this black representation so much, I want it to be blacker.
Mm. I
Like
love
I
it.
need it to be blacker.
Yes.
Like I am grateful for black. I aspire to blacker. When it's blacker, I will aspire to blackest. When it's
Yeah.
blackest, I will aspire to blackester. When it's blackester, I will keep going.
Yes.
Versus,
Yes.
oh, okay, we have one, we're happy. Because I think that's what we have a good run or a good year
Yes.
and we're settled because we
Mhm.
don't pick up the ball.
Yeah. 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 Woo! Woo! Listen. I love you. That's all I got to say. We're gonna take a break. We're taking a quick break for y'all for you to get a sip of
Yeah.
your green tea, for you to get a sip of my OJ, and to take care of we want y'all to connect. We want y'all to connect with us. All right. So again, we are on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and on YouTube on the Cara Solutions LLC. We're at Cara Solutions on Twitter. And as always, you can head over to our website at www.cara-solutions.com. Don't forget that hyphen in the middle to learn all about Cara Solutions, learn all about Inspire and what we do. Please connect, follow, like, and subscribe, especially on YouTube. So I'm going to a plea for YouTube. I need subscribers on YouTube. So please go over there and hit the subscribe button. Share this with your friends and tell them to subscribe as well. And also follow us on Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, and on Spotify. You can listen later if you missed. If you don't want to, if you can't watch it, you want to take it with you, just want to have it in your ear, you can listen on Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, and Spotify. Matter of fact, if you head over there right now, all of our previous episodes are there. And on Spotify, you can even see some video. You can see video on Spotify now, which is really really cool. So please follow us there. Again, we have Inspired Swag, Cara Swag on the Cara Solutions website. Again, don't forget that hyphen in the middle, www.cara-solutions.com. If you wear an Inspire shirt or a Cara shirt, if you have a cup, I want you to go ahead and take a picture of that and this hashtag Inspire, so that we know that you are supporting, that you're rocking some Inspire swag. And of course, I have to say again, thank you to the kid boss, Scott Michelle, who's 9 years old, if you missed it when we opened, who has who has housed Kara inspiration and motivation stuff since Kara's inception. You can head over to her website at www.skymichelle.com. She is currently having a Childhood Cancer Awareness Month collection on the site, and we ask that you support her. $5 of each of these t-shirts that are sold will be donated to the Children's Cancer Research Fund. So please support the Kid Boss, Sky Michelle. Next week, and I'll announce this again at the end. We are going to have Chandrika Fee with us. She's the author and speaker, and she is the author of Lord, I Don't Want to Die a Christian. Lord, I Don't Want to Die a Christian. That's about to be some fire conversation. Right? I have the book, and I'm going to tell you right now, go ahead and get the book ahead of time so you can ask your good questions. If you have questions for Odu, right? I want you to go ahead and put this back. Go ahead and post them. Go ahead and post them if you have questions for Odu, because we want to make sure that your questions are answered. Yes, it has some great comments.
Yeah.
Right?
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
the idea of ownership.
Mhm.
That's a piece. That's when we make our decisions and tell our stories. And but it has to be the partnership of support.
Right.
Because
Right.
what I do know is a lot of Black folk own stuff, even in media, but
Mhm.
for many different reasons. I'm not blaming it on Black folks for not supporting them. Sometimes you don't even know just because of market, like all the things.
Right.
So the more that we can kind of create opportunity and exposure and then support, the more it is. And I'm gonna shout out Anthony Evans, who actually, I did a drive around a project I had and on Facebook, and he's one of the people who contributed to it. So
Wonderful.
that's, I think, is important as well, that we really do have to. I say this thing about music. I look at this summer and the number of people in our community and this back and forth and all this dialogue about Beyonce and Renaissance. And I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying Beyonce ain't broke. All of
Right.
us have somebody on our feed that's a small independent artist that got something on Bandcamp
Yes. Yeah.
that you could go spend 99 cents or spot or whatever. And I say Bandcamp because they'll make the most money off of that, not even Spotify. But Bandcamp, especially on those first Fridays, the artists will make money. If you can post 82 times about Beyonce, you can share a post about somebody that's making music. Like that's
Absolutely.
the thing we really have to get. Like, we think supporting Blackness is spending money on white things that have Black in them.
Mm.
We have to understand,
Yes.
no, just buy Black shit.
You're
Like,
right.
it's really that fucking simple.
It's simple.
It's something. I'm 55. I've heard it all my life because, again, I come from that kind of family. So we always did. And people say, oh, well, when you support Black people, I say, when you support white people, they do the same shit. You just don't wrap yourself up in it the same way. I said, hey, you have a white person will be late every day. You won't say nothing about it. A Black person will be late one time out of 52 years. Oh, you on CP time today. So like, that's the thing we really have. Like, we're talking about supporting, but we have to unpack, to be completely honest, how we experience ourselves in our Blackness, to be able to support Blackness at the level to support it, if we want it to be more than how we experience it right now.
Yeah. Wonderful. I have to touch body language. So we're gonna
okay. Right.
Yes, I do want to talk about that for a little bit. So let's look at that short preview and then we'll talk more about it.
I always was aware of my body and quite possibly not being lovable.
It roots back into slavery, it roots back into the media.
There's a conversation to be had about body positivity as far as men are concerned, and especially men of color.
And when you get into the gay community, you'll have people who will directly say to you, oh, okay, well, I'm more into this body type.
I asked my friends, and they told me, they said, you're not sexy. Like, you don't do anything to try to be acceptable in the gay community.
And I think that's because I never really felt that way about myself. To feel that others do sort of feeds the ego in a way that I don't know self-love could.
Based on that, how do you feel beautiful?
All right. So body language explores body image and body experience for Black, gay, queer, and same gender loving men. What inspired you, Odu, to create this film, and why this particular subject matter?
Well, it's so I'm looking at the time, right? In the
No, go ahead.
okay, in the nutshell, actually, the first piece you showed was a class assignment.
Hmm.
Um, and we had to do a self documentary. I normally would have my projects done a week in advance. I dreaded the idea of it. I did it the night before. Um, and I didn't even know it was going to be about that till I started looking for pictures of myself.
Wow.
So, and I was like, oh, wow, what is this about? And I had to, and so I just decided to talk about that. So, fast forward in the same cohort, we had 15 weeks to create a final documentary, which was a 10-minute project. I had been working on something for 13 weeks and I was all excited. Then something happened.
Mm.
I won't say here, but something happened. And I was like, I have 2 weeks to make a movie. What am I going to make it on? So Rainier, it's funny, Rainier's in here because I was on the phone with Rainier and we go and say, I said, look, I'm going to lunch. I need to eat and then I'll figure this out. While eating, I knew I did not want to go into colorism right then because I knew that needed time to breathe. But
Yes.
it was a very divine download. I was sitting
Mm.
there and it said, oh, body image and men. I was like, okay. Spirit says that's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do. I knew Lynx and Bia had personal body stories that they had shared publicly to some
Hmm.
degree.
Hmm.
So I asked them, I did not know at the time Robert, who is the clinician in it. I only knew Kyle via Facebook, but I knew he was an editor at Bear World magazine. So I said that'd be
Right.
good. And I didn't know Will.
Hmm.
Um, the music, Libra's done our music for In the Groove, all
Yes.
our shows. So I had music from him, and but I would eat, different things that I did not know at that time when I said yes to it. But in
Yes.
the next 48 hours, they all unfolded for me.
Wow.
So I did it because it was supposed to be done.
Hmm. 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 Thank you. So there is, what is a project? This is from Renair. What is a project story movie that you would love to see done by mainstream?
God. Well, I'll say I'd love to see in the mainstream. We definitely need to do it. What it's interesting. So, uh, Bayard Rustin's biopic is coming out. That would be something I would go for. Let me keep talking. I'm gonna have an answer before we leave, but I really have to think because I also don't want to say something that I know I'm
Right.
I want to work on. So I'm like, you could have just asked me that on the phone. You had me saying that out here. So I will go with. You know what? I will go with Bayard Rustin because it's not. I'm saying I will say I'm happy to
Right.
see that
Hmm.
biopic coming out. And in a more general way, what what I'd like to see happen in mainstream projects is
Hmm.
not a normalization of LGBT, like all that, but an integration that's just not. Or I'd like to see it get to the point where the integration of it is not
Right.
that odd.
Right.
Like it's
Yeah.
not, like that is, and maybe we started to see some of that. Like I'm living for the fact that we see stuff with black couples, like
Right.
black gay little couples. That's
Hmm.
the shit. Cause we in
Right.
there like, yo, yes, black people like to be with black people, even if they not straight. We like,
Right.
we do that.
Yeah.
So that's more important to me than one specific thing.
Right, 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 right. So as we wrap up, I do want to I want you to talk to the creatives who are watching us now, who will catch it later in the replay, or who will listen. In your bio, it states that you only dedicate your head and your heart to projects that reflect your passion and can be produced from a place of power. Why is this an important model for creatives to follow?
It's the authenticity,
Hmm.
it's the joy, it's the way to move through when you can't see. Like, so again, even with body language, it wasn't that, oh, I decided to do this. It was divinely downloaded and it connected with me. And I said, okay, so that's why I could see it
Yeah,
without anything on paper. I knew it.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
and that's what happens when we come from that space. And then we own it. Um, and then because let's, I can Pollyanna this, but as creatives, there are
Mhm.
things that happen, especially Black creatives. If we look at, well, we trying to raise money, like all these kinds of things, you have to know it has to be here and then through
Yes.
here. It just has
Yes.
to,
Yes.
you
Yes.
know,
Yes.
or else, and a lot of folk make money, and then like any other gig, you go
Mhm.
home, you stress, you do this, you got to take 82 vacations, you do all that stuff, and you're not even taking vacations out of a joy space. You're taking them out of I need to relieve pain space,
Yes.
which is a
Yes. My
different
goodness.
thing. Like
Yes.
we want to be in joy, and that doesn't mean every day is but we know, oh my God, like I can't wait to create the next thing. I can't
Mm.
wait to do this deck. I can't
Yeah.
wait to
Yeah.
do that. I don't need to be like, oh my God, but who's going to fund this? Well, I don't even have to have that thought anymore. I just move with that. So
Yes.
that's important, or I think is an important component. And
Yes.
that's what I
Yes.
mean by that.
Thank you. Thank you for
Uh-huh.
sharing.
No,
What
and
is
I
coming
gotta
up
shout
next?
out Body Language
Good.
because
Yes,
Body
please.
Language, it premiered on a festival circuit June in
Mhm.
Toronto at Inside Out. We're up to 9 festivals right now. I'll be in Atlanta next week, then we'll be in Baltimore, DC, Seattle, and Chicago.
Mhm.
So yeah, I
Yes.
and I say that in combination with this because I made my first film. It was done when I was 54. It came out when I was 55.
Ooh.
So this reality around passion and following desire,
Yes.
people tell you that stops at a certain age or you don't know. If you are moving from that, you will always have new things to explore.
Wow. That's good. Ah! That's good. That's good. Listen, that blessed me.
Right. And be unapologetically Black because I
And
have a world teacher in everything you do.
yes, yes, yes. We have to have you back. We have to have you
Okay.
back.
All
We
right.
definitely
Yeah, when on next year after I get my Emmy,
Oh, okay. Yes, yes.
you
We'll
are
have
my
you.
first, and I will tell them,
Yes.
"Good morning, America." We'll film it in advance,
Yes, yes.
and then you can show it that night, right when I step on stage. We can simulcast, and you come on here.
See, listen. So we gonna touch and agree on that Emmy. I know what's coming. I know what's coming. I know
Thank
it's coming. I'm so proud of you, brother, and I'm so grateful for the work that you do in the public square. So grateful for the ways that you tell our stories, and I'm so grateful for your passion because it's infectious, right? And I thank you for coming on and hanging out with me, hanging out
of course.
with the Inspire audience, and tell us how we can support you. What's coming up next? How can we
Okay,
support, and where can we find you?
so I'm on all social media. Odu Adamu. I only go on Facebook, so
Mhm.
I ain't ignoring you if you hit me up on Twitter or Instagram. I just not coming on there. Um, and first, let me thank everybody for tuning in. Thank you, Sue. And the next project. So you mentioned "Got to Be Real."
Mhm.
One of the things that, and again, this I don't believe I live in these different. All these come together. Going to festivals, you realize that there are a lot of films there that are from different aspects of our community, but they're not being accessed by us because the
Right.
festival space is what it is. So I said, wouldn't it be great if we could bring together a few of the films and the filmmakers and create events where that are specific to us
Right.
and then make them available to community. And so that grew into Got to Be Real. I came up with the idea in June. It grew into Got to Be Real a few weeks ago. And Scribe Video Center in Philadelphia, we're actually going to have the premiere event there, Black History
Nice.
Month. And it's really powerful because for folks who don't know, this is a real quick. Louis Messiah, who is the founder and executive of Scribe, is like the king of independent Black documentary filmmaking.
Mhm.
He did
Mhm.
the bombing on Osage Avenue, W.E.B. Du Bois. So that's like so powerful for
Yeah.
us to
Yeah.
premiere there, and it's not a queer specific center, and it's in the community, like it's in the hood, like so. All of that is,
Mhm.
and again, this is just let the and say yes, say
Yeah.
oh okay yes, and then the universe is opening the doors. The doors are actually already open. You just have to step through.
Yes, yes. Thank you again. Thank you again, brother. We're gonna see you after you win that Emmy.
Word, word.
I love you so
I
much.
love you
We
too,
will
my love.
talk soon. We'll talk soon.
All righty, bye bye, everyone.
Right. So I know I sound like a broken record, but I want to make sure that you connect, follow, like, subscribe. Listen, I'm gonna keep doing it until I see some of these numbers go up. All right. So please connect, follow, like, subscribe. Again, we're on social media on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and on YouTube at Cara Solutions LLC. We're at Cara Solutions on Twitter, and of course, you can always head over to our website at www.cara-solutions.com to find out all about Cara Solutions and Inspire. I invite you to join us next week again. We are going to be having a conversation with Chandrika Fee, who's an author and speaker, and she is the author of Lord, I Don't Want to Die a Christian. Lord, I Don't Want to Die a Christian. Listen, I need y'all to show up for this conversation. And even ahead of that, go ahead. That book's on Amazon. Go ahead and get that book, and so that you can come with your thoughts and share your thoughts on her book. And we are at the end of another episode of Inspired by Cara. I am so appreciative of all of your support. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for connecting. Thank you for helping to help inspire, grow. If you have an idea for someone that you feel should be on this program, that you feel that would be good to have a conversation with, please let me know about it. Let me know about it so I can hit them up and invite them to come on the show. So that is it. Until next time, I want you to stay lifted. I want you to stay motivated, but most of all, I want you to stay inspired. Love you all so much, and I will see you next week.